Today's tech news moves fast, but understanding it shouldn't be hard. That's why Snarful Solutions Group brings you Connecting the Dots, where we break down what's happening in tech and why it matters to you. Now, let's dive in with your hosts.
Okay, let's get started. It's Tuesday, April 15th, 2025.
Right.
Quick look at the weather. Kind of messy in places. Snow expected up in the Great Lakes region. And it's looking pretty windy across the Midwest, the Northeast, and down the Mid-Atlantic as a front moves through.
Okay, so definitely a blustery day for some folks.
Yeah, and a heads up for anyone out in the desert Southwest, elevated fire weather today.
Oh, that's not good.
No, and it looks like critical conditions developing in the southern plains for Wednesday and Thursday, so something to watch.
Definitely.
On the markets, though, a bit brighter. The Dow finished up 0.49% at 40723.62.
Okay, little gain there.
And the S&P 500 also up 0.64%, closing at 54440.65.
So some positive movement. And welcome everyone to Connecting the Dots, brought to you, of course, by us here at Snarful Solutions Group.
Exactly. And today we're connecting the dots on some pretty significant tech news stories. We'll break down what's happening and, what it might actually mean for everyday life.
Sounds like a plan. Where are we starting?
First up, let's talk OpenAI. They've just launched 3 new API models.
Oh, okay. More models.
Yeah. GPT 4.1, GPT 4.1 Mini, and a GPT 4.1 Nano. Now, these aren't in ChatGPT right now, just the API.
Gotcha. So for developers, mainly at this point, what's the big news about them?
Well, they're touting major improvements, specifically in coding, following instructions better, and handling really long text.
Long context, that's always a big one.
Huge. And they're saying GPT 4.1 actually beats their previous top models, GPT 4o and the mini version.
Beats them across the board, or in specific areas.
Seems like across the board, but the coding improvement is really highlighted. They're citing a 21.4% improvement over GPT 4o on this benchmark, SWE Bench verified.
Ah, SWE Bench, yeah. That tests real-world coding tasks. So a 20% jump is pretty substantial.
And even bigger over the old 4.5 preview, 26.6% better.
Okay, so that's a noticeable leap in coding capability. That could mean, better coding assistance, fewer bugs generated by AI maybe?
Potentially, yeah. And then there's that context window we mentioned.
All right, the long context. How long are we talking?
Get this. Up to 1 million tokens.
1 million?
Yep. 1 million tokens, which they say is roughly, 750,000 words?
Wow. That's like processing several novels at once.
Exactly. They gave an example of analyzing a huge NASA server log file, 450,000 tokens to spot an anomaly.
Okay, so think legal discovery, massive research analysis, complex medical history.
Right, all that stuff. They do add a little note that, performance might degrade a bit with extremely large inputs, but still, 1 million tokens is a game changer.
No kidding. What about the cost? Because usually more capability means higher price, especially with OpenAI.
Well, that's the other interesting part. GPT 4.1 is actually cheaper.
Cheaper? Really?
Yeah, it's $2 for input, $8 for output per million tokens. The Mini is way less, $0.40 and $0.60. And Nano is tiny. Like Severin 10 says and Severin 40 cents.
Okay, hold on. So the main 4.1, the most capable one, is $2 and $8.
Right, and that's 26% less expensive than the model it's replacing.
That's surprising. What about the 4.5 preview they had? That thing was expensive.
It was like $75 input, $150 output. And because this new 4.1 is better and cheaper, they're actually getting rid of 4.5.
Deprecating it. Makes sense. When's that happening?
July 14th, 2025. So developers need to switch over.
Okay, so better performance, much bigger context, and lower cost.
Yeah.
That really opens the door for more developers to use it, right?
Absolutely. And early testers are seeing real results. Thomson Reuters, 17% better accuracy in their legal AI for reviewing documents.
Nice.
Carlyle, the finance firm, reported 50% better performance extracting specific financial data points.
50%? That's huge for financial analysis.
Yeah. And Windsurf, they used to be Codium, the coding tool company, found 4.1 cuts down unnecessary file reads by 40% and code changes by 70%. Plus, it's less wordy, like 50% less verbose.
Less verbose code is usually better code, cleaner, easier to manage.
Right. So connecting this back, what does it mean for, regular folks?
Well, lower costs and better AI for developers could mean the apps and services we use get smarter, faster, maybe even cheaper to run behind the scenes.
Like that legal tech example, maybe speeding up contract reviews, or financial tools giving better insights.
Exactly. And that huge context window. Imagine AI assistants that actually remember your past conversations and preferences much better. More truly personalized help.
Yeah, that could be really useful. It feeds into what we try to do at Snarful too, right? Using these better tools to build better solutions.
Precisely. Better building blocks for us means better end results for everyone using the tech.
Okay, so that's story one. What's next?
Sticking with OpenAI, actually. There's buzz about their upcoming reasoning models.
The O models, O3 and O4 mini.
That's the ones. It looks like they might be coming sooner than we thought. The original plan, or rumor, was maybe integrating O3 into GPT-5.
But that's changed.
Apparently, word is they could drop, maybe even in the next couple of weeks. And there might be an O3 Pro version too.
Pro, what's the pro part mean?
Seems like it's designed to spend more compute time, basically think harder on difficult problems, more focus on complex reasoning.
Interesting. Why the sudden change in plans, releasing them early?
Well, one theory is competition. Google's pushing hard with Gemini, right? Maybe Gemini 2.5 Pro is putting some pressure on OpenAI to get their next-gen reasoning tech out there.
The AI arms race continues.
Pretty much. It's moving incredibly fast.
So these reasoning models, how would that impact daily life? Is it just better chatbots?
It could mean much smarter assistants, yeah.
Yeah.
Better search results that really understand the why behind your query, not just keywords.
Okay.
But think bigger too. Potentially breakthroughs in science where AI can analyze data and suggest novel experiments or hypotheses.
Whoa, okay. Suggesting new science. That sounds futuristic.
It's speculative, sure, but that's the kind of advanced problem-solving reasoning implies.
Yeah.
Moving beyond just language processing to actual complex thought.
So potentially much more capable AI tools down the line.
Exactly. Which again, for us at Snarful, means potentially more powerful tools to build even smarter solutions.
All right. Story number 3 takes us out of AI development and into the courtroom.
The big one. FTC versus Meta. The trials started.
Yep. Kicked off officially. This is all about those big acquisitions Meta made years ago, Instagram in 2012, WhatsApp in 2014.
Right. The core accusation from the FTC is that Meta basically bought potential competitors to kill them off or stifle them.
Yeah.
A buyer-berry strategy, they call it.
Yeah, arguing it created a social networking monopoly, and they seem to have some internal ammo.
Like those Zuckerberg emails.
Exactly. Emails where Zuckerberg apparently worried about competing with Instagram on mobile photos and described buying Instagram as a way to, quote, neutralize a competitor.
Oof. That phrasing doesn't sound great if you're Meta's lawyers. That could be powerful evidence for the FTC's argument about intent.
Definitely. And if the FTC actually wins this, the consequences could be massive.
We're talking potential breakup, right? Forcing Meta to spin off Instagram and WhatsApp.
That's the potential remedy. Imagine Instagram and WhatsApp suddenly being separate companies again. It would drastically change Meta's value and, well, the user experience for billions.
It's hard to even picture. Now they feel so integrated in some ways. How would that even work?
Good question. It would certainly shake up the social media landscape. But Meta's fighting back, obviously.
What's their main defense?
They're arguing the market is way bigger than just social networking. They compete with TikTok, YouTube, Snap, all sorts of platforms.
So defining the competitive landscape much more broadly.
Right. And they're saying how people use their apps has changed. It's less about connecting with friends now, more about passive stuff like watching videos.
Interesting angle. Kind of shifting the goalposts on what social networking even means in 2025.
Yeah, they claim less than 20% of users are primarily there for friend-family connections anymore.
It's a fascinating defense. We'll see how it plays in court. And this case has a history, doesn't it? Didn't it get thrown out once before?
It did, yeah. Dismissed initially, but the FTC refiled with, supposedly, a stronger argument and more evidence.
So they're determined. Who is expected to testify?
The big names. Zuckerberg, Sheryl Sandberg, probably execs from rival companies, too. Should be quite the show.
Definitely one to watch. So, connecting this dot to everyday life.
Yeah.
What's the impact for users?
Well, obviously, if a breakup happens, your Instagram and WhatsApp experience could change significantly. How they work together, maybe new features, maybe even different costs or ads eventually. Who knows?
And beyond just Meta, it sets a precedent, right, for how regulators look at tech acquisitions going forward. Could chill future deals, maybe.
Could absolutely impact future M&A and tech. It raises big questions about antitrust in the digital age.
Yeah, huge implications.
Okay, so let's quickly recap the big 3 for today.
All right.
We had OpenAI launching the new, cheaper, more powerful GPT 4.1 models and sunsetting the old 4.5 preview.
With that massive million-token context window.
Then, the potential early release of OpenAI's O3 and O4 mini reasoning models may be spurred by competition.
Right, promising more advanced problem-solving from AI.
And finally, the FTC versus Meta trial kicking off, challenging the Instagram and WhatsApp deals with potential major shakeups for social media.
3 really significant developments, all showing how fast things are moving in tech, from AI capabilities to regulatory challenges.
Absolutely. And all of these things, more efficient AI, potential shifts in social media, they do connect back and will likely shape our digital lives.
That's why keeping track of this stuff is so important, which is what we try to help with here at Snarful Solutions Group.
Exactly. And hey, if any of this sparks questions or you're wondering how these trends affect your work or business,
don't hesitate to reach out.
That's right. We are here to help here at Snarful, so reach out on our website if you have any more questions.
Always happy to connect the dots.
So maybe leave folks with this thought. With AI like GPT 4.1 able to process 1 million tokens, basically a huge chunk of information, what new kinds of apps or services could that realistically enable? Things we haven't even thought of yet.
And on the flip side, what would a social media world without Meta owning Instagram and WhatsApp actually look like? More competition, more fragmentation, something to chew on.
That's a wrap on today's top stories. Remember, tech doesn't have to be complicated, and we're here to help connect the dots. If you've got questions or want to learn more, visit us at snarful.com. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you next time.